How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you another solo leveling episode review. Today's episode is episode 2, entitled If I Had One More Chance. Before I go any further, please take the chance to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of more videos like this. If you want to support me even further, the Patreon link is in the description below. Anything you do, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. So, we were left on a not so cliffhanger. And now we're back to figure out what's going to happen to the rest of these people. As you have probably guessed it, most of them die. As a matter of fact, well, I guess all but 5 die. Just technically, Jinwoo technically dies. I'm trying my best to get these names down. I promise I am. So we learn what the third commandment actually was. The third commandment was prove yourself to God. So it was revere God, praise God, and prove yourself to God. All 3 of those, right? And so initially, and I this is a trope I dislike. I'm gonna try not to use the word hate, but I dislike the trope of reluctant hero. Oh, I'm so scary and weak, but oh no, I didn't know what was going on. I'm glad that was kind of discarded rather quickly, because Leader Song, the older guy, was like, man, if it wasn't for you, we all would have died there. So it was a good job. He's like, no, I didn't really know what was going on. And then he looks, and Song is missing an arm, right? Song's arm is just gone. And he's like, don't, just, can you tie it up? Because our healer, Jin-hye, her right there, the waifu, maybe? She is, I don't want to say catatonic, but she's on the ground panicking. And it brings up a decentish point. I got a mini rant later, but a decentish point of going, well, she's a B rank healer, but she only takes E rank missions. And this, going on higher missions is rough. This guy here, Song, I think he's B rank too. He says he can just tell because he's been on various B rank missions, and that thing is an A rank or higher. The big old stone statue that is killing everybody. Now, the highlight of this episode, which is funny because I shouldn't really call it a highlight, given that this show is going to be about Jinwoo. Jinwoo, right? It's going to be all about him, but it's interesting to think that the character that's always in the back, who's the literal weakest hunter, so weak in fact, that girl with the school jacket that I initially thought was his sister. No, it's not his sister. It's a classmate of his sister, who brazenly goes, I bet I could be better than him. Wait until you see him now. But anyway, the guy's so weak and in the back that he pays attention. He's like, when you can't muscle your way through things, what else can you do but look for openings and analyze the situation? And he gets them through he gets the other 5 through these 3 different scenarios, right? First scenario, praise God. So he goes, okay. He tries something, stands up, and the I-beams were about to beam, and then he lowers his head and they don't. He says, everybody bow down. It says revere God, right? So we all bow, and they're listening to him. And so one guy, pardon me, one guy goes, okay, I think I can make a break for the door, right? He does his little magical power up. He powers up. He's like, I'm confident in my speed. Runs, and everything but his lower shins and feet are obliterated. So obviously the thing can kill them at any time, but why isn't it? It's up to Jinwoo to try to figure this out. And then suddenly, after they're done their whole bowing thing, we get the iconic, I even wrote this in my notes, the iconic, you've seen the gif, right? The regular face, and all of a sudden it has this giant shit-eating grin. That's where that's from. As a matter of fact, hold on, I'll even show you. I'll show you the meme here. It's basically a meme at this point. Look at that. Yeah. Most of that, like the early days before this was put in animation, a lot of that was just people doing motion comic level stuff. I think yeah, they did a decent job. I have no complaints on that. Like the art is not what kind of annoys me about this show. But again, I'll get that to a moment. The second wave where it's praise God, this thing starts moving, and then this one guy, cool looking guy, he will be a main character of another show. He goes, I've taken a couple studies in a lot of places, he starts praying. And Jinwoo was just thinking, he's like, this type of God doesn't play by those type of rules. And when he tries to tell him to leave, too late, dude, blood splat. Another girl freaks out, blood splat. Remember Park, who just had a baby? Oh, Park, and he runs, and they're all scattering, because if you stay too close, it's easy to get stepped on by a massive stone god thing. Park gets cut in half. Yeah, that's boop, right in half. Which makes Kim, that's the guy's name's Kim, which makes him freak out. What's my guy called? Jin-woo is able to figure out, hey, he's looking at each of the statues. Because if you go by the statues, you're going to get messed up. And people get chopped. Like, we see a dude we see him eat shit. Just cut straight in half. And he's looking at each of the things that the statues are having. And then he goes, wait, instruments. Go to the ones with the instruments. It's pretty good, right? And then the next one is, well, before I skip to that, he also figures out can't be two to a person on these things. So he runs. He's the only one still running. The giant statue thing almost gets him. He's in front of the wrong one. Loses a leg, but he makes it. Now this is one old girl tries to heal him. She overtaxes herself to where bleeds from mouth, bleeds from eyes. Like, look, man, Korea entertainment can be rough. Like, shit. Y'all just, this is that type of series. Just FYI. Where am I at here? And because I'm not trying to do play by play, it really feels like most of them were supposed to die. If you analyze all this, right? There's only 6 statues, 6 people left. When we get to this altar thing, where we have the one dark skinned girl, I'm just gonna call her black, one black woman, the other guy, Kim, Song, Jin-woo, and then Jin-woo. It's only 6 of them. When we get to this final altar, that only has 6 flames. And the puzzle for that is, all right, you're supposed to prove yourself to God. The door opens. So it's a test of nerves, right? But also part of the puzzle is, if you look at the statues, they won't move. And the blue flames are counting down. Well, these selfish assholes are just like, all right, well, 2 go. Then Kim starts crying, just to figure that I'd be saved by the week is here. But I got a family, man. If he would have stayed, they would have been fine. Homegirl can't even stand up. Her legs don't work because she pushed herself trying to heal her beau, right? Heal her boo. And old boy with the one arm is telling Jin-woo to take her and go. He's like, dude, I got one leg. She can't stand. You take her and leave. I'll just be here. And he eats shit. But the one thing I do like so much about this, I'm skipping ahead in my own notes. I do make sure I got this. I do appreciate the internal monologue overlaced with what's actually happening to him in that dungeon, right? Because he takes the sword of Song, was it Song sword or Kim Song? One of their swords. He's trying to defend himself for as long as it takes. He's like, I'm pretty sure all this will be done when all the blue flames are going out. The blue flames are going out. The red flames go out fast because they've gone. They've ran. And I like the overlap, because you can hear him scream out. Like, the dude loses an arm. You hear him scream as he's thinking in his head about how messed up the situation is. And we get layers of emotion there. You would think he's just like flipping out, but his life's about to end, right? We get to where is this at here? So as we were getting down to that altar part, Kim is basically blaming Song for this. He's like, "You're the leader," and Song's a good dude. He's like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take it." But Jin-woo's like, "We all voted on this," and two of the other two before they ran like punks were like, "That's not fair." All of us, even you, Kim is technically one of the ones that's like, "No, man, we got to get that stuff right. Can't just put it on him." And technically, you can't just put it on Jin-woo, even though Jin-woo was the deciding factor. He could have just easily said, maybe not, but foolish, maybe. Who knows? Hold on. I want to repeat exactly what he said. He also says if he knew this was gonna happen, he would have got a juicier life insurance. It's like, yeah, if I'm gonna die here, I should have just got something better for my family, right? Um, but he's saying all this is bullshit. Literally, that's what the translator says. This is all bullshit. Why couldn't I get stronger? I come and do these things every single day, even though I'm not going to be stronger. And you couldn't take it anymore. Talking about Kim, you couldn't take it anymore. None of us could take it anymore. You were just being selfish and finding a way of justifying your own selfishness. It's always the most selfish people who benefit the most. I got a family too, and I wanted to make it home. But he's getting messed up so bad. He got stabbed to the chest. He can't even scream out. He's on that altar. And then you get your ending, right? The ending that if you've read the manhwa or the webtoon or whatever, that when that sword comes down, a little player screen pops up and it goes, was it Courage of the Weak quest has been done. He meets the qualifications to be a player. Will you accept? If you don't accept, your heart's going to stop in 0.02 seconds. That is such... I feel like that's a big Korean thing. Maybe, might be... It's... How do I express it? To use a term like that, oh, your heart's going to stop in 0.2 seconds. Who gives... You could have just said your heart's going to stop immediately. Like, I feel like that little added part there's kind of meh. What's an anime thing? There's it's a trope. It's not a trope you see in a lot of Japanese stuff. You do see a lot of it in the manhwa. I also didn't get a chance to say last week, I want Witch Hunter, also known as Witch Buster in English. That needs to get an anime. That's still going on right now too. Witch Hunter is like D Gray Man. I don't want to say but better, but I enjoy it a little bit more. Witch Hunter. That is a manhwa that needs to get an anime soon. I digress. And of course, you see the yes being pressed, right? The intro and outro. The intro, I'm not a big fan of K-pop. Intro song, I listened to the song before I watched the first episode. And this is the first episode that they're debuting it. I'm not a big fan of it. It's meh. The outro is way better. But the animation for both intro and outro are really, really good. But meh. Now, here's where I want to complain. And I feel like I said something like this last week. Technically, our author here, our creator here of this series, he what he did isn't a cardinal sin. Like when you set up the rules of your world, where it's like, hey, you can't get stronger even if you want to. And I remember saying this last week, in making everyone not special, you can make this character weak and unspecial, and then he becomes the special one because no one is special but him. And it becomes a bit of a power fantasy for those who are weak and want to change their station in life, XYZ, blah, 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 right? It goes from being like fantasy-ish to weird game isekai. We've seen a lot of game isekais. There's Sword Art Online, which admittedly that was after my time. I do need to finish that. I started it some time ago when a classmate recommended it. Sword Art Online. You got my favorite, the Dot Hack /GU, one of the best PlayStation 2 series games of all time. I really wish those got remade. What's the other game? There's tons. I mean, the spin-offs from Sword Art Online, right? You get all these different type of games. Skeleton Knight from Another World, which I will finish on here, I promise. Skeleton Knight from Another World. That is an interesting, because you have even Overlord, right? You have these characters. These guys worked to be OP. So now they're going against other things that could be OP. So in this, but when you think about in terms of a video game, especially like Final Fantasies, NPCs and side characters level up too. They don't always stay at that certain level. I don't know which games I don't want to butcher the writer's name. I think his name's Chungo. I don't know what type of games he's thinking of, right? Where you start off and it's like, oh man, this guy's strong, but he doesn't get any stronger because you get stronger because you're the player, right? And it's okay. I don't know. Maybe it's a nitpick for me. I get frustrated with shows where it's like other characters can't get any better. Because then what's the point of being invested in other characters in the show? That means the other characters better come already at A level, S level class when this guy is able to rank himself up to A level, S level class, right? It's, I don't know. I don't know. It's like power creep. I don't know. Maybe the power creep will be slow and steady, and maybe some of the other characters will show up, will be okay. I don't know. Just something about that. And again, this formula, that's technically what you're supposed to do in writing. You set up the world, so you set up the rules, and when you have something that goes against the rules, that is why it's, for lack of better words, interesting and intriguing. For me, this kind of just goes, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not dropping it unless the quality in this thing drops, right? Unless the quality drops, and unless I just suddenly lose interest, which I don't think I'm going to lose interest. I do want to see a lot of the things that I've seen on page and animation, so that's definitely going to keep me going. But it's just something about that whole entire part just makes me go meh. But let's talk about the flip side. The flip side, I forgot to mention about what the governments are trying to do, especially the South Korean government's trying to do with the crystals. So like the mana crystals, not the ones that you get from ripping open beasts. And Jinwoo did explain something about dungeons. I'll get to that in a second. Those crystals, again, you use those to make stronger weapons, but the government trying to use the mana crystals for energy purposes, right? So you won't have pollution energy. It's renewable energy, not nuclear, stronger than wind and solar power, but not harmful like nuclear and everything. That's the purpose of this. And I got reminded of that because when little sister Soon went to go visit their mom, putting on her brave face and talking to her, we see a magic monocrystal in the machine. So they're using the stuff from these gates, from these other worlds, to help with everyday life or to make things better. Which explains why companies have guilds and they hire people, because they want those sweet, sweet resources. It's like oil. Again, art imitating life. Now, what I didn't mention, that I'm going to mention now, they had to do the old animal trope of knock her out because she didn't want to leave Jin-woo. And he had given her, he said, I'm supposed to take you out, take the crystal thing I got, get yourself something to eat. It's like, well, that's probably the last thing anybody wants to hear is like, here, go get yourself something to eat. I'm going to be dead. But with all of this, I did enjoy myself. I don't want to forget the other information Jinwoo gave us. So, dungeons, I want to say dungeons stay open. No, dungeons have a period of staying open for 7 days, right? After 7 days, a dungeon break happens where the magical creatures that were inside of there are able to come outside in the world and mess stuff up. Just wreck all this shit. So that's why the hunters go in, you fight the dungeon boss, you kill him, you clear it, you close it, you're done. And I think the dungeon that they've been in has been open for about 7 days. That's why the question was, is someone going to come and get us? Well, they probably won't make it long enough for somebody to come and get them. On top of the fact that if the dungeon breaks, this big thing is going to get out. Is what he thought. Wow, this is just a little hidden side quest that would have never guessed, right? I know episode 3 came out today. This thing is technically saying that this is episode 3, but I'm gonna try to watch episode 3 fast. I want to see this transformation of his, because we've all seen it, right? You've seen him looking like the normal scrawny protagonist, and all of a sudden, oh man, oh darn, he looks attractive now, and he's sleek and he's strong. I kind of wish he would have stayed kind of like my guy Tanjiro and Midoriya, where it's like, yeah, no, there's some visible changes, but they don't go from wimpy, hefty. Meh. That's a nitpick. The way that this world structures this video game knowledge, that's a nitpick too. Although it's starting to become a common trope that one character that is a player character is able to interact with things as if he's playing a video game. There are way too many isekais, guys. I'm gonna count this as an isekai. There's way too many isekais. Like, you guys don't want to watch me, don't want to see me review I get reincarnated as a sword or as a vending machine. I know that's for well, one of those is for comedy, but sheesh. I still gotta watch I got reincarnated as a slime. That actually looks interesting, but yeah, a lot of isekais, a lot of different rules. All in all, regardless of all my nitpicks, 4 out of 5. This wasn't bad. I feel like this kind of I don't want to say middling, but this is a decent start. We're getting more info. We're laying more groundwork down. I'm waiting for my socks to get blown off, but as of right now, you know, you got me take my shoes off, so I'm waiting to get the socks blown. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I truly want to know what you think. And also, if you made it this far, what's your favorite game isekai anime? I'm still kind of partial to Dot Hack, even though Dot Hack is one of the most confusing ones. I feel like Dot Hack wishes it was Sword Art Online. From the little bits of Sword Art Online I've seen, I feel like Dot Hack wishes it was Sword Art Online. Sad, right? Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more reviews just like this one. Thank you for taking some time out to spend some time with me. Please be good, be blessed. Wash those hands, drink some water. Stay warm out there. It's been crazy cold. Make sure that you be good to yourself. You're being good to others. No matter what, don't be a jerk, all right? Don't be a jerk to yourself. Don't be a jerk to others, all right? And I want you to know that even if you're feeling down and out and you're feeling lonely, just reach out to somebody, right? Friend, family, acquaintance, stranger. Just reach out to someone. There are people out there that care about you, and people that honestly would rather see you and talk to you today than to mourn you and miss you tomorrow. Okay? My social medias are in the description below with the Patreon. You can just follow me. You know, send me a message. I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. Just don't be a jerk, and everything will be good, guys. So yeah, I will definitely see you next time with another one of these solo leveling reviews. Until next time, level up.